Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, I'm kind of stepping into the role of your personal finance mentor. We are going to completely shatter all those get-rich-quick myths floating around the internet and show you exactly how real wealth is actually built. If you're in high school right now and you're starting to seriously think about your own personal finances, your future career, and how to genuinely secure your financial independence, well, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to look way past those flashy social media posts and actually dig right into the real mechanics of money. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the millionaire myth, top story of persistence, wages versus wealth systems, failure as an expensive education, and finally, 3 steps to get you started. Let's just dive right in. All right, section 1, the millionaire myth, and why the ultimate goal really isn't what you think it is. Okay, so let's address the massive illusion you see literally everywhere on social media. When we think about wealth, especially when we're young, the mental image is pretty much always the same, right? We picture the huge dream house, the luxury cars, flying private, and just never having to look at a price tag ever again. Everyone kind of assumes their life will magically transform the exact second they hit $1 million in the bank. But honestly, that's focusing on the completely wrong finish line. It's a huge distraction, and it keeps people from understanding the actual day-to-day stepping stones of personal finance. Because the truth is, making your first $100,000 is significantly harder and infinitely more important than making that first million. I know that sounds crazy, but why? Well, because making a few bucks here and there from a summer job or, selling old clothes online, that's great. But hitting this symbolic number of $100,000, that actually proves you finally created a repeatable system. It means you aren't just getting lucky. You figured out a real mechanism to create value consistently. Going from 0 to 100,000 is the steepest part of the climb because you are quite literally building the engine from scratch. Going from 100,000 to $1 million, that's just feeding more fuel into the engine you already built. Moving on to section 2, top story of persistence. From video games to a massive business empire. So, to really understand this, let's look at a teenager named Top. He started out just like anyone else in high school. In his phase 1, he was earning and basically just wasting small amounts of money by selling virtual weapons in online video games. It was totally just a hobby, not a system. But check out phase 2 and 3. He started actually observing real-world customer needs around him. After a failed, and I mean really failed, attempt at running a roasted chestnut business, he stumbled upon a way to package and sell fried seaweed snacks. And through absolute sheer persistence, he transformed that one simple idea into a total empire, eventually becoming one of Asia's youngest self-made billionaires. He didn't just magically jump from phase 1 to phase 3 overnight. He put in the work and built the bridge to get there. Which brings up the first of 3 questions I have for you today. I want you to really think about this for a second. Did Top build his wealth through a lucky break or by building a repeatable system? Your answer to this actually changes everything about how you plan your own future career. Because if you believe it was just pure luck, well, you'll probably spend your whole life just waiting around to win the lottery. But if you recognize that it was a carefully built system, you can start building your very own right now, today. And that perfectly sets up section 3, wages versus wealth systems. This is all about trading time versus creating value. Okay, listen closely to this part. Earning money once is absolutely not the same thing as building wealth. Think about your typical high school part-time job. Say you work at a local cafe. You work for 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. That is side A, working for wages. You are directly trading your precious time for money. But side B, that's creating systems. Imagine instead you spend, say, 5 hours writing a really phenomenal study guide for a brutally difficult class, and then you sell it online to hundreds of students over the entire next year. See the difference? You did the work once, but you get paid repeatedly. Hard work alone is simply not enough if you aren't actively building a system. And guys, this right here is the absolute magic of compound growth. Take a look at this. In year 1, your bar is mostly just raw effort. You're grinding, you're building the engine. But by year 2, the system is built and the bar grows. And by year 3, the growth accelerates exponentially. While your standard hourly wages just stay flat forever, because let's face it, there are only 24 hours in a day, a system you build once continues to generate and grow your income over and over, year after year. It scales up without forcing you to sacrifice literally all of your free time. So here is our second question to test your understanding. Is hard work alone enough to build lasting wealth if you are only earning money once? The harsh reality is if you're just trading your hours for a paycheck, you are undoubtedly working hard, for sure, but you just aren't building the disciplined systems required to scale. You've got to work smart. You do that by focusing your hard work on building systems that will ultimately outlast your initial effort. All right, section 4, failure as expensive education. Time to reframe those mistakes. Now, what happens when your system breaks or your brand new experiment just completely tanks? In high school, failure gets you a bad grade, and maybe you get grounded for the weekend, right? But in the world of personal finance, it looks a little different. I want you to burn this quote into your memory forever. Failure is expensive education. Learn from it. In the real world, a failure isn't some permanent red F stamped on your record. It's just a tuition fee. It's simply the cost of the very expensive education of learning what your customers actually want and what the market actually needs. When Top tried selling roasted chestnuts and completely failed, he didn't just throw his hands up and quit. He viewed the lost money and the lost time as the exact price he had to pay to learn a crucial business lesson. And that brings us right to persistence. By definition, it's the disciplined habit of continuous improvement and experimentation to deeply understand your customer, even after you face setbacks. Top didn't just get super lucky on his first try. He learned from his expensive education. He used persistence to continuously tweak and improve his small income systems. That is the massive mindset shift we're looking for, going from being a student just trying to pass a math test to becoming an entrepreneur trying to solve a real-world problem. Let's wrap it up with section 5, 3 steps to start, what you can actually do today. So, how do we bridge the massive gap between a literal billionaire story and your life right now? I know it can feel super overwhelming, but building wealth always starts with incredibly small, manageable actions. So here is our final question for you. What small steps can you take today to stop relying on luck and start building consistent value? Before I give you the answers, I want you to ask yourself what daily habits you can change today to take actual responsibility for your own financial education. Maybe it's just spending a little less time scrolling on your phone and a little more time reading up on personal finance. If you're wondering where to even begin, here are 3 highly actionable steps straight out of Top's playbook that you can apply right now. Step 1, practice customer understanding. Just figure out what problems the people around you actually have. Step 2, experiment to build systems that generate income repeatedly. And we're talking very small ones here, just like his early video game earnings. Maybe it's a digital template you design and sell, or maybe a neighborhood service business where you hire a few friends to help run it. And step 3, maintain discipline and continuous improvement over relying on luck. Stick with it even when that very first attempt inevitably fails. Okay, let's bring this whole thing together. Remember, earning once is not the same thing as wealth. Responsibility is the secret ingredient that transforms your big ambitions into concrete actions. Remember to reframe your mistakes because a failure is really just an expensive education. You've got to build systems instead of just working hard for a flat hourly wage. And finally, keep your eyes on that crucial first milestone because the first $100,000 is what actually proves you can create consistent value. True wealth is all about taking responsibility, learning from your slip-ups, and building a reliable engine. Wealth is absolutely not built in a single moment. It is the result of continuous, highly disciplined action. So as you look ahead at the rest of your education and your future career, I'm going to challenge you with this one final thought. If true wealth isn't built in a moment, what repeatable system are you going to start building tomorrow?